Anything will be held against you. Let me pull up the whiteboard and start from where we left over yesterday. And this is the end of the chapter, okay? Is everybody listening? So I'm going to go over this again for all the DAs that didn't listen or wasn't here the other day. Let me turn the front light. Yeah, y'all come on in whenever. How's Brett? Oh, he got pulled over. Well, you didn't bat your eyes at him or anything. No. Okay.
You got pulled over.
We're about. That's fine. We're about. Right there at 85?
Yeah. Of course.
They sit there.
What was that? Always.
Yeah, because that's Confunction Junction since QC came in.
That's like, no,
It is. It's like Confunction Junction.
when it's towards the end of the month, you gotta be careful because like they're always there.
Yeah. There was one yesterday that I passed and turned on lights and come on with it.
Okay, we had 5 ping pong balls. And those numbers were 1 through what? Look in your notes. 69? Is everybody listening or is everybody talking? Okay. Just want to make sure nobody's being rude and talking while I was talking. And then the one power ball is red. I forgot to color it red. The power ball is 1 through what?
26.
Thank you, because I was going to say 25 all the time. All right, so this one is going to be 69 combination 5, and this one's going to be 69 combination. I'm sorry, I haven't hit the vodka yet. 26 combination 1. And remember what I said, if you are doing, and I'll tell you right now, you're going to have 3 or 4 lottery questions on your test, okay? The white cream is the second best. Next to the chocolate. I know, this one white. Is that pumpkin spice? Okay. Get them things out of here. Anyway, if you're asked a lottery question, and this is the second time I have told y'all this, it is assumed, if they're asking you what is the odds or what is the probability that you win, okay, what are they assuming? They're assuming that you bought a what? At least 1 ticket. Now, the reason I'm telling you this for the second time, and I'll tell you about 4 or 5 times, bought at least 1 ticket, because if you just put the probability, if you just put this in your answer, it's going to mark it wrong. Okay? If you just put this in your answer, if you just multiply that combination by that combination, that is the denominator for your answer. The answer is going to be 1, or however many tickets they ask you to buy, over 69 combination 5 times 26 combination 1. Most of the time this will be 26 or whatever n is, because usually the lottery there's 1 Powerball or 1 Mega Ball or whatever they want to call it, okay? So remember, and I'm going to highlight this again, this will be the 3rd time I told y'all, so somebody's going to screw it up, all right? If the directions do not tell you that you buying 8 tickets or 10 tickets, if they don't say anything about buying a ticket and they ask you what is the probability of winning the lottery, you say 1, at least 1, unless they say you bought 10 tickets. Because that 1 right there, I'm not going to give you credit if you miss it, because that's the 3rd time I told you. Okay? So when you do that, you're going to come out with, somebody, what did we come out with? Did we finish it? It was 1 over 292 million. What was it? We didn't get to that. So go ahead and do your calculator, and that's going to give you 1 over, I think, 292 million, but, you know, plus or minus. I don't know what exactly it comes out to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the spreadsheet. I'm going to show you something. Make you think a little bit. For those of you that didn't invent statistics. No sneezing in class. Oh, I need to ask y'all something. Did I ask y'all about the gallon jug?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
About the milk.
Yeah, why do people carry around gallon jugs? Okay, there's these things, they're called water bottles, okay? And you fill them up.
I feel like it's easier to keep, like, you're supposed to drink at least a gallon of water a day.
I know
so
that.
I feel like it's easier to keep up with if you drank it all or not. 'Cause, like,
So you carry around a milk jug.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had it down right. I think it goes along with the sunglasses, but that's just me. But anyway. But what I know. All right, so I just wondered because there's these two cats that come in my class and they're carrying these bottles of water, and I'm like, what the hell? But that's just me. And they don't look like they're in high school. So I could understand with a high school student. I can understand that. Coach tells you to run around with a trash bag, half the year. I understand that too, a wrestling coach. But, I did that. I had to run around with the trash bag on my, under my clothes. Anybody ever had to do that wrestling? Nobody?
Can you explain that?
Huh? You trying to make weight?
Trying to burn calories.
Yeah, you're trying to burn calories to make weight because the heavier you are, the closer you are to your weight, the better it is in wrestling. So if I'm heavyweight, or not heavyweight, but if I'm light heavyweight or whatever, I was always heavyweight, so I didn't have to worry about it. But the ones below heavyweight, they would have to, does anybody know the limits? I don't know the limits. But let's say 195 pounds was the second stage, okay? If you weighed 194 pounds, you were at advantage versus somebody that weighs 180 pounds. So if you weighed 200 pounds, you ran around spitting a cup and you ran around doing the trash bag during wrestling, during practice, running around, and then the Friday before the match or whatever, you weighed in, you'd have to weigh exactly right under 195. That's why. Boxing has to do it. Boxing, any kind of combat sports, you have to weigh in at a certain division. That's why. So I can understand coach telling you to do that and you run around. I can understand, but I don't understand some things. But that's why I'm not, one of those people that walk on water. 1, 10. Y'all do. There are people that think they walk on water. Y'all know that, don't you? There are people that think that. Just wanting y'all to know that. You'll see it more and more as you get into the real world. You might be going to school with some of them right now. 50, 100. I'm gonna buy 100 tickets, and I'm gonna buy 1,000 tickets, and I'm gonna buy 10,000 tickets, and I'm gonna buy 200 or 20,000 tickets, and then I'm gonna buy 50,000 tickets, and then I'm gonna buy 100,000 tickets, and then I'm gonna buy 500,000 tickets, and then I'm gonna buy 1,000,000 tickets, then I'm gonna buy 1,500,000 tickets, and then I'm gonna buy 2,000,000 tickets. Now I'm gonna show you something here, and it's kind of valuable for you to know, especially if you're gonna be a gambler, okay? All right, so we said a while ago that the probability of winning would be, we'll do it over here. I'll just make a big old cell here and here. And we said that the probability of winning on the 5 is equal to, come in, parentheses, 69, comma what? 5. I did one backwards, sorry. And then here is going to be equal to, combine, parentheses, 26, comma, 1. And then I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to do all of these in a number, like, dang old 10 digits, over 15. I want y'all to see this. Equals this number divided by, parentheses, this number times this number, close parentheses. Oops, sorry. I gotta lock these two. Just give me a second. F4 and F4. There we go. And let's turn that to percentages. So somebody tell me what I just proved.
Okay, wait, Lori.
Okay, I heard what? Yeah? So you getting there?
It doesn't matter if you buy one ticket or a bunch of tickets.
Exactly. And the reason I did this one time is back when, it was about 10, 15 years ago when the lottery actually hit South Carolina, and everybody was worried because there's only 2 states where people were dumb, stupid, and racist. Where are they? Mississippi and South Carolina, okay? We're dumb, ignorant, racist, and everything else, all right? So when the lottery came to South Carolina, the rest of the nation was so worried about us. Why? Because we were all stupid, and we were going to go out and spend all of our paychecks on the lottery while our kids ran around with diapers on in the convenience store. Okay? No, that's what was happening with video poker. That's what South Carolina had before we had the lottery. Okay, that was like the crack cocaine of gambling. All right, you got cigarettes. That was the crack cocaine of the tobacco industry. Then you got of course, the crack cocaine of the drug industry, and then you got the video poker, which was the crack cocaine of the gambling industry. Well, we got rid of that, and thank God we did, because it was awful. Okay, so you go into a convenience store, and there'd be 25 dadgum poker machines down the wall, and there'd be like 25 or 50 people playing those poker machines, and it was awful. It was just awful. You couldn't go into a convenience store without that in there, and it was just terrible. And those people would sit in there like 6 or 8 hours a day. Anyway, so we had that stigma going for us also. So we're dumb, racist, and we didn't know when to go home, and we were gambling, gambleholics or whatever. All right, so we're all inept in South Carolina. So all the rest of the nation was worried about us getting, and this is what they were worried about. They were worried not because we were in the Bible Belt. That's not what they were worried about. Everybody in South Carolina was going to go out and buy 2 million tickets. That's what everybody thought we were going to do. And, of course, that's not what we're doing. I got 10. I buy 10 usually because that's $20. Yeah, $20 you get 10 tickets. Okay? And right now, does anybody know what, if you win both the Mega Million and the Powerball, what you would be?
A billionaire.
You would be a billionaire. Right now, one of them's at like 800 and the other one's like at 500 million. First thing I would do is put it in the bank. That's the first thing I would do. Because that way you'd go shopping. You wouldn't put it in the bank first.
I'd carry all of the money.
Yeah, the boy in Texas did that. You know what happened? He went to a strip club with a brand new truck with all of his money in the console. They beat the crap out of him, stole his truck, and spent all his money. No, you put it in the bank is what you do. Because you could live off the interest. Hello, the interest off of $1 billion. Does anybody know what the interest is off of $1 billion? A lot. Yeah, it'd be a lot of money. And people say, well, you wouldn't go out and spend. If you put $1 billion in any bank in South Carolina, they'll give you an unsecured loan to go out and spend ever how much money you want.
But I thought you were allowed allowed to put that much.
250,000 in each account. You'd have like 5,000 accounts.
That's cool though.
Finally, bing! We finally got somebody that got it.
Isn't it a bad idea to put all your money in one bank?
Well, you wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you would not carry it around in your pocket. That's what you would not do. Because remember, you live in South Carolina and we're dumb and racist and we ain't got no sense. Okay? So somebody's gonna beat you up at the strip club and steal your truck. $1 million. He had $1 million in his truck console. Stupid. Anyway, so if you buy one ticket, you got a 0 chance. If you buy 2 million tickets, you barely get 1% chance. So, that's why the lottery is supposed to be what? It's supposed to be fun. You go by, you get 10 tickets, you go by and see if you win. If you don't, it's no big deal. The world is not going to stop revolving. You do not go by and buy 10 million tickets or 2 million tickets. That's ridiculous. Let's see what would happen if you bought 10 million. Whoa, you get up to 3%. Now, this is where you get into the logic of the lottery. If you've got $10 million to spend on a lottery, why are you playing the lottery? Okay?
To win $1 billion.
What?
To win $1 billion.
Chances are, if you're throwing away 10 million, you've got a lot of money in the bank anyway. Okay, but that's a little thing that I came up with, and it does teach you a little bit about gambling. One of my professors at Clemson, Joel, his name is Joel Brawley, Brawley. Little man, he's about 4 foot tall, and he taught like for 115 years at Clemson. That's what you do. You teach for like 100 years when you're there, especially in the math and engineering department. Anyway, make a long story short, he wrote 3 books about gambling. And one of them followed this same concept, but it was more like poker or roulette or whatever in Las Vegas. And he kind of did the same concept. You've got more probability of just playing one time than playing 5 times or playing 10 times or playing whatever. And he was going along the roulette tables and the blackjack tables and things like that. In fact, he proved mathematically that blackjack was probably the best game to play if you didn't know what the hell you were doing in Las Vegas, besides the slot machines. Okay? But has anybody ever been in a casino before? Of course not. You're not 18. But if you've been in a casino, I know you've all broken the law. Okay? If you've been in a casino, Mr. Macho is not going to walk into that casino the first time and think he's going, man, they go so fast at those tables, you don't even know what they're saying. Okay? It took me, I watched the blackjack table for an hour before I played because I had to watch and see what he was actually saying. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. The dealer, he was saying, blah, 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 and he was using all this jargon, and I just had to sit and watch. And I sat there and watched for an hour. And then I played, and I won $300, and then I lost it. So at least I won, but I lost it.
Start with?
Huh? 20?
Okay.
I started with 20.
I would have kept at 300.
Well, that's where you get, when you're in a casino, you get drawn in. It's like stay away from casino. 2 things in life to stay away from: casinos and credit cards. Period.
Nobody's going to say crack.
Period. Huh? Well, if you're in college, you're not going to be stupid enough to do that. So hopefully you're not stupid like a dopehead. Okay?
Stupid enough to do crack?
Yeah, hopefully you're not.
You'd be surprised how many people are stupid.
Well, they're not here though. They're going to end up on live PD. Riding around, selling drugs, but to bring attention to yourself, you play your music loud so the police will come, Yeah. I'm going to sell drugs. I'm going to bring attention to myself. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so that's that. So everybody knows how to do that now. So everybody knows how to do the lottery. So everybody's good. Let's go to the homework and look at a couple. Oops. Let's go to Math 120. There y'all is. And let's pull up homework. And this is what section? 5 point what?
What's it called?
I think it's 5.6 or 5.5. It's 5.5. Because I told you not to do 5.6. All right, so let's look at it. Let's find a lottery question. Okay, now, I'm not going to put that on a test because if you can't do that, you shouldn't tell anybody anyway. So that's pretty simple. Let me find one that you'll see on a test. Well, I guess they're not going to have any lottery questions.
Wait, I have a question.
Hold on a second. We're going to go over questions. Of course, they don't put a single freaking... Whoever puts these dadgum... Hold on, let me go to where they actually have the 5, and study plan.
Really? Live your life. You'll be 18 on Sunday. Yeah, just make an excuse. It's your birthday on the week.
Wait a minute. You said 5 point... Is 5... Okay, is everybody listening or everybody talking? Is 5.5 the multiplicative law or is 5.5 counting?
Counting.
Well, that's the multiplicative law question. Okay, I'm talking to myself. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going. All right, here's one. This is a test question, so write that one down. In a certain lottery, an urn contains balls numbered 1 to 27. From this urn, 5 balls are chosen randomly without replacement. These questions are awfully multiplicative. For a $1 bet, a player chooses one set of 5 numbers to win. All the 5 numbers must match. The order for which the balls does not matter. Usually for a lottery, it will not matter. So you need to highlight that because that's normal. What is the probability of winning the lottery? This is one of those test questions that if you don't put it over 1 or under 1, it's going to be wrong. So go ahead and do it. It's not a hard question. The reason I'm pulling it up is I want you to see what happens when you type in just the probability. Okay? So it's going to be 27 combination of 5, right? So we go to our handy dandy and we type in 29. Is it 25 or 29? 27. Combination of 5. I got 80,730. Is that what y'all got? 80,730. So I'm just going to type in 80,730. 80,730. And I'm going to get it wrong. I will not change this answer. I will not give you points because what does it say right there? For a $1 bet, what is the probability of winning the lottery? When you see those 2 phrases, or one of them, that means you got to put it over 1. So I'm going to hit it again. Yeah, I got it right. I got it right. That's right. I did it right. No, you didn't, because there is the answer. Now, let's take 1 and put it over 80730. So let's take 1 and put it over 80730. 1 divided by 80730, and there is your answer. 1.24 times 10 to the negative 5th power. Let's go see what the answer is. 1.24 times 10 to the negative 5th power. I will not give you credit if you don't put it over 1 or under 1. You have to do that because on a standardized test, and they fill standardized tests with these questions, with these lottery questions, it's assumed that if you're playing the lottery, you have to buy what? A ticket, 1 ticket. And if it's not written, if it says, what is the probability of winning? This is about the 5th time I've told you this. If it says, within the probability of winning, that means, if it just says that means it's assuming you bought at least 1 ticket. Now, if the question says, Johnny bought 10 tickets. Well, then you wouldn't use 1, you would use 10. If Johnny bought 100 tickets, you would use 100. But if it says nothing about buying a ticket and it asks you what is the probability of winning the lottery, they're assuming that you bought at least 1 ticket. That's about the 6th time I've told y'all. Okay?
Can you show what it looks like on the Excel again, like what
Yeah.
you typed in?
Yeah. Right here is what I did there. Come in 27/5, and then I just went below that and put 1 over whatever that number was. Question on that one? Yes, ma'am.
So whenever we're putting it in the answer box, do we need to put like E? Negative?
Yeah, it looks like to me they're wanting that. So hold on. The directions say use what? Scientific notation. Even the directions are telling you not to write it as a whole number. Okay? The directions are saying, okay, you're going to get a very small number here, write it in scientific notation. So even the directions would say, okay, DA, you got to put it over or under 1. Because if you type in a whole number, it's going to mark it wrong because they're looking for a very small number. Okay? And that, it says round to the nearest 100. So it's giving you all the directions you need. So on this question, if you wrote 1.24 times 10 to the 5th, I'd mark it wrong. If you wrote 1.23 times 10 to the negative 5th, I would mark it wrong. Because it's giving you all the directions that you need. The only ones that I give you credit for are the ones that are kind of vague and kind of open. All right? If the answer is 1/2 and you put 0.5 and there's nothing there to tell you to put it in terms of a fraction, I'll give you credit for that. But when the directions are sitting there screaming what to put it in terms of, then you need to follow the directions. Okay? So just for giggles, and since there's going to be 3 or 4 of these on the test, which will carry you over into a D grade, I want to make sure y'all know how to do this one. Let's do one more just for giggles and see if you do that one. 28 and 6. So do that one right quick. Yeah, I'm going to bring my gallon jug next time. I'll tell you another little inside thing about the water. A lot of people, instead of, they do work out. But instead of working out, some guys work out a little bit, drink a bunch of dadgum creatine, and then have to follow up with the dadgum water because the water, the creatine holds what? Water. So that way they look more swole. So, different alternatives. Of course, none of y'all would do that, I know, but, right. Okay, nobody's going to talk to me now. Y'all going to clam up now? Is that, are y'all concentrating? Dang, I must have said something that offended y'all. All right, so the numbers are, let's move it down a little bit. The numbers are 28 and 6, so I changed this one, 28. That's why the Excel spreadsheet is so neat. You just go in and dang old fix it. And I get 2.65, so that's going to be 2.65. So I do this handy dandy 2.65 times shift 8, 10, shift up, negative, I done forgot, negative what? Negative 6. Look at there, it's a miracle. I followed directions and I got it right. I see, that's what gets me. The person that is in charge of this course, I don't know who it is, but what is the number one problem that they put on standardized tests? The lottery question. And the next question, the next is the board members and the committee members. We're going to go over that one in just a minute. And then the third one is the racehorses. And I didn't see a single homework problem in your homework that had those on there. Not a single one. Makes me mad. That's why I had to go to study plan. That has all the questions in it. But y'all don't do it for homework. But well, I guess I'll have to make one. There's another lottery question. Let's see what that one says. Okay, that's the same one. Same type. Okay, there we go. Write that one down. There's the second or third most. It says 4 members of a 45-person committee are to be selected randomly to serve as chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. The first person selected to be the chairwoman, the second, the third, or whatever. How many different leadership structures are possible? Is this a combination or a permutation? Why? Because order matters, and when you see officers or ossifers, that means order. So this is a permutation. So you need to write this down, put a star beside it, highlight it, and highlight the word permutation and the word order. And just do it. So what's in? Always the what? Always the biggest number. And then how many officers are there? 4. So it's going to be 45 permutation 4. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy spreadsheet. That is gone. Where'd it go? There it is. And we're going to put in, I'll just go down here and put in equals permute. And you said 45, comma, 4. And here's how many different combinations you could have. 3,575,880. And a lot of people say, you're crazy. That many? Yeah. Because you got to remember, I could pick these 4 people right here, but then I'd have to say, well, that's president, and that's secretary, and that's, or vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Then I go president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Then I go president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Then president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, or secretary, treasurer. You see where it's going? And that's just for 4 people right here. How many people are in this group? Oh my gosh, 25 people. So if you got 25 people, you got to go with each one of those combinations. Okay? Now, do you sit there and actually do that when you think? No, you don't. Okay? Now, in one sense, this is a very stupid question. All right? But it is on standardized tests, so that's why I show it to people. All right? So your answer is 575, 880, 575, 880, 3, 575, 880. And it's a miracle. So you need to write that one down because that's a test question. What?
How'd you know?
What?
That it wasn't a combination.
Because it says right here, chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. You need to highlight that because that tells you, and put above it, put order. Same thing with the horses. First, second, and third place with the horses. I'm going to try to find that question for you. Well, this is one like it. Suppose 9 cars start in a race. This is the same type question. Change the cars to horses. Okay? Now, this is helpful, especially when you gamble at the racetrack. It's helpful. All right. 9 cars. So that'd be 9 permutation. What? 3. Why is it permutation? Top 3 what? Cars. Top 3. First, second, and third. That is a permutation. So write that down. That's a test question. Suppose 9 cars start at a race. How many? Blah, blah, blah. Pull up handy dandy spreadsheet, which disappears. So that'd be 9, permutation 3. So I go right here and I type in 9, permutation 3. What'd y'all get? 504. Good. So you feel good about yourself. And you type it in, 504. Okay, we talked about the license plate. That's going to be, let's say a license plate is to consist of 4 digits followed by 5 uppercase letters. Okay, 4 digits. So you got 4 slots, and then you got 5 slots. Everybody with me? 4 and 5 slots. Okay, so you're going to have determine the number of license plates possible if the first and second digits must be odd and repetition is not permitted. First and second digits must be odd. So you got 4 digits, you got 4 slots. Well, for some reason, there we go. And I tell students to draw the slots. You got 4 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 5 slots. Now I'm reading that right? 4 digits followed by 5 uppercase letters. That's what I'm, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And it says the first 2, first and second digits must be odd. So instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to have 9, 7, 5, 3, and 1. 1. So that's 4, right? So that's going. You got to choose from 4. So that's 4 to the second power. 4 to the second power.
There's 5.
Oh, 5. Sorry, I can't count. And then here we've got 10 to the what? Second power. 10 to the second power. And then here we have 26 to the 4th power. 26 to the 4th. 26 to the 4th. 26 to the 4th, 26 to the 4th, and so on. Okay, why is it 26? Because it says uppercase what? Letters. All right. So I'm just showing you how to make it out. Okay. Now you don't have to write. You don't have to multiply all these. It would be 5 to the second times 10 to the what? 10 to the second times what? 26 to the 4th. Okay? And it's 26 because what? There's 26 letters in the alphabet. And this, what's the 4 for? How many slots are there? 5. Sorry. I'm telling you, it's the alcohol. All right. And type that in. That's going to be a BA number. Okay? That's not a test question. I just wanted you to see it because we went over the license plate question. I want to go to, and we're going to go over these. The question, homework questions is going to be Monday, right? Today's Wednesday, right? What's today? Okay, Monday. Monday is going to be homework questions and test. I don't see the question I want, so I'm going to, I think we did a horse question, did we not?
Yes.
I think we did. So it's in your notes. So you've got a horse question, you've got a car question, you've got a board question, and you've got several lottery questions. So, do you mind? I'm trying to teach here. Okay? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions that I've shown you today that's going to be on the test, which I told you that 3 or 4 lottery questions are going to be on there. So you've got enough in your notes today to get through this section. There'll be 2 or 3 multiplication problems. There'll be 2 or 3 additive problems, and there'll be 2 or 3, what is the probability of, a 6 on a die? What is the probability of a king? The roulette question will be on there about odds. Make sure you get the roulette question. We did that in class. Okay? I'll go over it one time real quick. It's real simple. Let me go to the whiteboard. That's the one that asks you about the odds. We did it in class, I think, didn't we? Somebody look. It'll be be about the 3rd or 4th page of notes in the first unit or the first section of probability. Here's the roulette table, and I told you there's slots all the way around it. Y'all remember this?
Yeah.
Okay. And the one slot, there's 2 slots with 0, and they're usually green. 0 and double 0, remember that?
Yeah.
And you've got 1 through 48 numbered all the way around. And I told you what is the probability of number being 2. I think I asked the marble to fall on 2. And then I asked you what is the odds against. And then I asked you what if you bet $500. Okay, so 2, probability of 2 is 1 out of 50. And therefore, the probability of not a 2 would be what? 49 over 50. And then the odds against is the probability of failure over the probability of what? Success, which means multiply by 50 over 1. So the odds against are 49 to what? 49 to 1. And what would you, if you bet $500 and that marble fell on the number 2, what would you win? What would you take home? I'm waiting. 49 times 500. We did this in class.
24,500.
You'd walk away with $24,500. Okay? So that's the second roulette question I've given you. So you've got 2 roulette questions. You've got a couple of blood type questions, which is the overlap, showing the overlap. You've got a couple of the multiplicative questions, marble bag, okay? And then you've got all the questions with counting. So you've got plenty of questions in your notes to go by and finish your homework on those sections. And for those that were not here, we'll go over that again. And I don't know who was here, who wasn't, so I'm not talking about anybody because I don't like you, okay? Okay, 4.1 and 4.2 is going to make up 20% of the test. What kind of questions? Well, what is that? What is that? That's correlation. This is a negative correlation. This is a what? A positive correlation. You need to know what that is. You need to know what this is. What is that? No correlation. Okay? You know that because of slope. Make sure you know what slope is. Slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Make sure you know how to do the point slope equation. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. And make sure you know how to find the R factor on 2 things. What do you need to find it on? I told you all this. There's only 2 ways. I didn't tell you to do it by hand because there's calculator or what? Excel or whatever y'all call that thing that y'all work on in your computer. Okay? So on 4.1 and 4.2, that's what I'll ask you. On 5.1, that's gonna make up our 5.1 to 5.3. Or 5.5, okay, I can't talk and chew gum at the same time, just hold on. 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.5. 5.1 is basic probability. That's the what? The king and the die, the deck of cards and the die and the roulette table. Write that down. Cards, die, and roulette. So if I give you the roulette table, you got to do the odds. Okay? 5.2 is your additive law. And what is that? That's your blood types. Remember the blood types? And it told you to always subtract the what? Always subtract the overlap. 5.3, the multiplicative law. The multiplicative law, I think we did the marble bag. We also did the CD, didn't we? Yeah, I think we did. And then 5.5 is factorial, which is the 3 that I gave you, the lottery, the horses / cars, and the committee / board, whatever, with the officers. And that's going to be 80% of your test. Okay? So what y'all need to do this weekend is do nothing but what? Homework. 4.1, 4.2, 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.5. Do you even need to click on 5.4 or 5.6?
No.
Do you even need to look at it?
5.4.
Whatever. That's what I just said.
I'm just in my head.
Yeah, you wasn't here, so.
I was not.
Mhm. Okay, so do not write me an email that says, do we do 5.4 and 5.6? Do not write me a text that says, because I will not respond, because we've already covered this. All right? Any questions? So that means Monday is what day? Homework question day, and we'll go over the what? Test. That means it's going to be assigned. So all you procrastinators, you got this weekend to get your homework done. Y'all get out of here and have a good day. And a good weekend. And hopefully Georgia won't lose again. And hopefully somebody out of the conference will beat Ohio State, but that's not going to happen. What time is it?